is Sean Miller with the World of Outlaws, hanging out with Lucas Wolfe here in the grandstands at Clay County Fair Speedway in Spencer, Iowa. This is a unique atmosphere. There's kind of a fair behind us, and out in turns 3 and 4 there's some rides, total carnival atmosphere. So what's it like? I mean, do you get to hang out and see the sights on a day like this when you've got to race and do your normal job, but there's another atmosphere at the track?
It's a little bit difficult because we were running on a little bit of a short schedule. We raced Monday at Antioch and then had to drive 1,800 miles plus to get here. We went into Des Moines and did some shipping back and forth with some engines, trying to get ready here for the remainder of the season and stuff. So we're pretty busy getting everything finished up and squared away. But it's good to be able to kind of come to one of these places. It's kind of historic, traditional kind of racing type thing. That's always good to come back to. The fairgrounds, speedways are certainly what always started this type of racing, and it's good that we're able to kind of continue that tradition here at Spencer.
So you ended California with a good swing, 5th place, I believe, at Antioch. Take us through that West Coast swing.
Well, it was a very busy stretch. We had a lot of midweek races, and it kept us on our toes quite a bit. We did okay at some of the early tracks in the swing. Castrol and Skagit were both tough. The locals there at Skagit especially were running well one the race, so it was always good competition up there. And the tracks are a bit unique. It's a little bit tricky trying to find the right things, and we struggle particularly in qualifying with that. So we've not had results that we needed to have of the last few weeks, and that was kind of disappointing because historically we've been pretty strong out on the West Coast, but it's always tough. Chico was a little bit tricky. Their track was a little bit tough. They had just put a new surface on it, and it wasn't really great for passing, and it was a little bit tricky. So we got to finish with a great night at Antioch for us, running top 5. Ran strong on night, qualified well, raced well, and so those are the nights that we need to continue to try to have that we can build on.
We're down within the final dozen races of the season. You're pretty much locked into 10th place in the points. I don't think you're probably going to climb anymore. You're not going to drop anymore. How does the mindset change or shift in the final dozen races of this season?
Really not a whole lot. We haven't really been challenging for points all year. We've struggled a lot at the beginning of the year with some engine issues and kind of sat out a few of the races that we were out of stuff basically. So those things all really affect your point scoring possibilities, and we just haven't really been close on that all year. So we've continued to do the same thing, and that's what we'll keep doing, is trying to be fast and run well, and hopefully we're able to do that. These some big races here coming up still. We go back to Eldora again, and then obviously a big weekend at home for the National Open at Williams Grove.
Is that one that's been kind of maybe the last one or two that's circled on the calendar?
Well, obviously, since we race with the Outlaws, every race is big. I mean, it's certainly every race is important. They all pay well, and they're all a big deal. So you want to win them all, but it's the National Open obviously kind of goes out on its own. It's one of the biggest races of the year for anybody, and it's the last one, so it's definitely one I think everybody's kind of focused on, and it's definitely the toughest place to run well at if you're not running well and you're struggling. So hopefully we'll be able to hit that with a little bit of momentum, and we keep getting a little bit better on our half-mile program. We were fairly average at Knoxville, so that's been a bit of an improvement for us. So hopefully we'll be able to turn that into a good result. We had a pretty decent run there at the last race in July. So that's certainly a big focus of ours, is to run well home.
And lastly, as we kind of are wrapping up the season, is it at this point that you kind of start looking in next season and putting schedules together and making decisions on what you're going to do, or do you wait until after we finish up there in Charlotte in a few more weeks?
At the moment, we haven't really got into any of that stuff. We've been kind of focused on finishing this season, really. So it's a bit of thing. If you're set up and kind of have everything rolling in the right direction, you're already well into your planning ahead for next season. But currently, we're just finishing this one out and not really looking ahead at the moment. But hopefully, we'll be able to get some of that stuff ironed out in the next few weeks.
Well, thanks for the time, Lucas, and enjoy the sun while we still have it.